darling. Yep, that's right. It's me, that gal on the couch who ain't no slouch. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. The name of the show, as I'm sure you know, is Movie Macabre. It's a ghoulish goulash spiced to perfection by yours truly. And this time around, Cameron Mitchell heads up a no-star cast in a number called Maneater of Hydra. A group of tourists, so the story goes, this group of tourists finds themselves at the mercy of a weird baron who dabbles in ornamental horticulture. Sound interesting? Well, it's not. I mean, well, let me tell you, there are plenty of thrills, chills, and spills, and you won't want to miss one single minute of it. You might want to miss the whole darn thing, but you definitely won't want to miss a single minute of it. It's the Maneater of Hydra, another Movie Mac biggie, and it's all threaded up and ready to go right after these words. Oh, just leave him in the middle of the road, why don't you? He'll make a terrific speed bump. Gee, what a swell way to start off a vacation, or running down one of the locals. Even if the Baron said the poor devil was suffering from an incurable disease, I'm sure he still would have liked keeping his options open. Cures have been found, you know. Of course, it never would have happened if that meatball of a driver in the ice cream coat had kept his mind on the wheel and his hands on the road. But no, he had to go hitting on that guy's wifey. Boy, is that dame ever hot to tango. I know the Greek Isles are supposed to be romantic, but maybe she could have just waited till the car was parked. Okie doke, it's commercial time, and then we'll get a look-see at the Baron's itchings. It's coming right up as Maneater of Hydra continues on Movie Macabre.
Like a what? Come on, say it. Well, are you afraid?
Like a prostitute.
I see.
Fascinating.
Please, this is not the man you saw this afternoon. Perhaps I should have told you. My fault, I'm sorry.
He seems awfully calm for a man whose brother was killed just a few hours ago.
So where does that old bag get off putting somebody else down for their looks? Has she come face to face with a mirror lately without cracking it? Boy, if you pushed her face into dough, you could make ugly cookies. But what about that dinner? Wasn't that interesting? Oh, I mean, seriously, coming up with a cucumber that tastes like a doggone porterhouse? Wow. Wonder if you serve something like that with beefsteak tomatoes. I have been doing a little experimenting along those lines my own darn self, and what I've come up with is this here hamburger that tastes just like a banana. I swear, I am not making this up. It tastes exactly like a banana. But I can't sell them. Nobody wants to buy them. They don't have appeal. Oh, golly. Sometimes I just kill me. Okie doke. Miss, how would you like a
Like a what?
Like a commercial. Fooled you. It doesn't have appeal. Anybody for a little frisbee?
Outside, it's all right. But inside, don't do it.
Oh, okay, Baron. I'm sorry. Whatever you say. Oh, what about that tour of his? After showing off the dreaded mouse-eating French fry plant, he wants to show him something unusual. What does he think that thing is? Something you pick up down at Ralph's? Boy, I think that redhead Mrs. Robinson had the right idea. Get loaded and skip the florist show. Or the florist show, as the case may be. And talk about red hair. I mean, don't try adjusting your TV set. Whoa, if Lucille Ball and Red Buttons ever had a kid, she'd have been it. And what do you think happened to her lover boy, the driver? there he was, just making himself a little old cup of taster's choice, and the next thing you know, he was gargling ketchup. Ha! Very macabre, very macabre. Okie doke, time for another commercial.
I don't think I'm going to like this.
Look, honey, I ain't so fond of it either, okay? But it does pay the rent.
You made a fool of yourself in Rome, and now you're drunk again.
Everybody has his own way of enjoying himself.
Mrs. Robinson, I thought you were in bed.
Well, I couldn't sleep, Baron. And I ran out of cigarettes. Do you have any?
Yes, of course.
Say, what is this?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Robinson, if you misunderstood me. Well, being shy, are you? You boys feeling fine?
Oh, to you and me, maybe it's just a cage full of hamsters, but to that killer French fry plant the Baron's been growing, it's a full-course dinner. Boy, did the Baron ever blow it with that Mrs. Robinson dame. I mean, she shows up like that after everybody else has passed out from too much ouzo, saying she wants to smoke. Why, that woman has been smoking since she hit the island. She's so hot to trot that if she went down to Santa Anita, they'd put a saddle on her. She's commonly known as Cora Robinson, but her scientific name is Californica hornica. And when the Baron didn't want her fondling his giant geranium, that got her all the more excited. She thought he was just playing hard to get. Then she realized he was only talking about a plant. Well, we'll get back to Maneater right after these words from the folks who pay the bills.
Oh, my God. Come on.
And there it was, folks, the famous fainting scene from the Maneater of Hydra. Boy, they are really starting to drop like flies, ain't they? First it was that driver, and now it's Cora. Oh, the poor thing sure learned the hard way of the hazards of smoking in bed. Well, all the more fish for her hubby, I guess. I don't know what's doing everybody in like that, but it leaves this big old hickey in their cheeks. Just like the one the servant's twin, we can't afford another actor, brother had on his cheek when they ran into him at the start of the movie. In this story, you gotta suspect everybody. Nobody is above suspicion. It could be the Baron, could be that nutty professor, or it could be Mr. Robinson, and it could even be the hero. Did you catch his name? David Moss. In a movie about man-eating plants, I would keep an eye out on a guy named Moss. Well, we'll get back to the man-eater right after this.
Don't you see? No man could have killed him.
Did you say a vampire?
Yes, why not? Demarest is right. The window in our room has a 50-foot sheer cliff outside, with no way for anybody to climb, but a bat.
Surely, Mr. Robinson, you don't believe that.
There was no blood in the body, Baron, and the driver of the car told us yesterday that everybody left this island because of a vampire legend.
Death? What do you mean? Who's death?
Although he hears and understands you, Balde's a mute.
I swear if he's hurt her, he'll pay.
Now, why does everybody in this movie have to call that mute galoot Baldy? I mean, he may not be the most handsome dude on the block, but he does have a nice head of hair. They could call him lots of things, but not Baldy. Guess he don't care what you call him, just as long as you don't call him late for dinner. Oh, no, there's a joke that ought to be retired. And when are you guys gonna learn how to treat a Schwinn? Watch this. And now it's the Baron's turn. Oh, wow, double whammy. You guys never heard of kickstands? It's them pointed little things down there at the pedals. Or what about using one of them bike racks with the yogurt ads on them. You see them everywhere. Why, I think I saw one not more than 20 feet away.
There was not.
Okay, you're right. I just made that one up. Boy, ever since the tourist business started dropping off, he has gotten so touchy.
Thank you, my lady. Sorry. It was necessary. I hated to do that, Demarest.
Well, I guess it's off to the planter box for that nutty Professor Demarest. Boy, you just knew they were going to get some mileage out of that statue before this movie was over. And if that's the way the Baron treats people he likes, I would hate to see how he treats the ones he ain't very fond of. I was just standing here, you know, trying to remember where I might have seen that Baron character before. I think maybe he used to do a mind-reading act. If it's the same guy I'm thinking of, he was terrible. He just always had an audience full of plants. Oh, golly, that is a corker. Maneater continues right after these words. Audience full of plants.
Stop, Baldy!
Oh, I get it. The script called for an ivy plant, but they came up with an IV plant instead. A little hospital humor there. But seriously, I have never seen anything so gross before in my life. Oh, obviously poor Myrtle had never seen anything like it before either. I mean, the very sight of it made her forget how to do one very important thing. Run. She just sort of stood there. I mean, you know the plan ain't going nowhere. Run for it. And the real tragedy of her getting bumped off like that is now there's a photo mat in the Bronx that just had to close up shop. I mean, they were counting on her business. Now, who's the Baron going to blame this one on now that Baldy ain't around to take the rap anymore? Poor Baldy. Nobody ever told him that a rolling stone gathers no moss. Or, for that matter, that people who stand on rubble heaps shouldn't throw stones. Well, there's still more to come as our vacation adventure continues on Movie Macabre right after these messages.
You mustn't harm my tree. It's well.
I've said it a million times, I have said it once. Talk to your plants, but don't get emotionally involved with them. Well, I guess the Baron forgot one thing. He's the guy who had the gun. Battle axe! Smith & Wesson. Well, if this movie proved one thing, it's this. You gotta shop around for them vacation packages. I mean, there are so many gyp artists out there who just want to take your money and then take their kickbacks, and they don't even care how miserable a time you have. Just take the folks in this story, for example. Why, first of all, it rained half the time they were on the island. And let us not forget the telephones never worked, and the service was lousy. That's the time you want to ask for your money back. Ha 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 ha!